What is going on, folks? I am Goat and welcome back to Warframe. If I am slurring my fucking words, I am sorry. I am dizzy as hell today. Hi. So let's have a discussion here. Let's just go through this. I have set up a list of crap of what's happened with Citrine's last wish. Okay, now why are we looking at the pity system, right? Why in the hell are we looking at all this? Well, what we're looking at is some bullshit, okay? Literally is what it is. So there's a bunch of people, myself included, that have noticed a bit of a problem here, okay, as far as the drop tables. Even on the steel path, the component drop rates are absolutely fucking terrible. Okay, they really are. The only thing that you get increased with the steel path is literally the crystal fragments. That's it. Okay, you just get a negligible amount of crystal fragment increase. Does it help? Yes, but is it enough to really warrant or incentivize playing on the steel path of this? Not really. You're not going to save that much fucking time. You're going to save a little, but not a bunch. But these drop tables are fucking atrociously bad, okay? Just for example, Rotation A, the weapon blueprints have a 10% drop chance. As you see, this is my little account, okay? I have 5 Steflos blueprints, plus I have 1 built. I have 1 Chlorophyll blueprint, and I have 1 built. So in a grand total, I farmed 6 Steflos blueprints and 2 Chlorophyll blueprints. I've also farmed 2 Citrine blueprints. I have yet to farm a single one of her parts, although I do have one building, because as you can see by my crystal count up here, well, you may not actually be able to see that, hang on. Yeah, you can't see it all the way. I have 229 red and 87 blue. Because if I remember correctly, I had enough fragments to buy all 3 of her components. Okay, and then the Chlorophyll blade, which was the only part I was missing for this account. I had to buy all of these Steflos parts because none of them dropped. But guess what? All of the weapon components are on only Rotation B with a 6% drop chance, but they also have 7 fucking relics ahead of them. And the arcanes that drop there are even worse because they have a 5.4% drop chance. And it's, again, only Rotation B. So with a cycle of A, B, C, and there's only 4 items, there's an endo cache, a credit cache, which the credit cache is 3,000 credits, which is horseshit. I mean, for a newer player, that's fine. But 3,000 cred, what the fuck does that buy you? I mean, seriously, except for, you know, like tiny, you know, special event things that cost, you know, 1 cred or some shit. What the fuck does 3,000 cred buy you? You know, unless you just repeatedly get it over and over and over, which guess what? You do. You get 3,000 cred a lot. Or you get the little endo cache a bunch. That's about it. But yeah, the arcanes have a horrible, horrible drop rate on Rotation B, but all of the weapon components drop on Rotation B, just like all of Citrine's parts, including her blueprint, only drop in Rotation C. Okay. So on Rotation C, 6.8% drop chance for the blueprint, but only 4.5% drop chance for her components, with 3 arcanes in between all that at 5.1%, which is still terrible. Now, you take all of that bullshit into the equation, right? And it takes 22 minutes. There is nothing you can do to change this. It takes 22 minutes to do 1 Rotation C run. Okay? 1. So, you can't even fit 3 Rotation C runs in an hour. Okay? It's bad. It's pretty rough. Okay? So, that being said, even with this pity system, you're actually farming fragments way more than you're farming the components, because the component drop chance, except for these 2 things here, have a horrible drop rate. Like, this was a trade from Joe, and I ended up getting an extra one before I ended up buying the blade. So Joe actually had slightly better luck than I did as far as weapon drop components, but I think he had like a Steflos receiver and a Chlorophyll receiver, and all I had was a Chlorophyll receiver and a Chlorophyll handle. So, and then a Citrine blueprint, and obviously both those blueprints. So, but I've gotten 1 arcane with this account. I've gotten 3 with the main account. Hey man, that's good, right? Now this doesn't look bad though, 60 and 60. It also takes 21 of these fucking arcanes, or 21 arcanes to make a full rank 5. This shit adds up, okay? This farm is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous, okay? So the drop tables suck, and then the pity system is encompassing a massive amount of time, okay? So just for example here, okay? We've already talked about the drop percentages in the drop tables being rotation C only for Citrine, rotation A and B for the Steflos and the Chlorophyll, and then all the arcanes are rotation B and C, right? Citrine takes 1,550 red fragments and 1,550 blue fragments in order to build her. Okay? That's what she takes, because it's 500 and 500 and then 350 and 350 and so on. It's even across the board. And then you've got, you know, male, female, female, male, you know, men, Mars, women, Venus, you know, the deal. So, yeah, so, I mean, so just this stuff, not even counting the fucking arcanes, 1,550 red, 1,550 blue, just to buy Citrine, if you're not lucky enough to have any of these drop. For the Steflos, you're talking 1,250 red and 750 blue, right? Okay, because they're... Sorry, Steflos is right here. I probably should have put these in the proper order. You know, less red, more blue. Okay, but then the Chlorophyll is more red. I think I had the tables backwards. The Chlorophyll is 1,250 red, 750 blue, and then the Steflos is 750 red, 1,250 blue. Okay. Now, that being said, then you get to the arcanes. 1,260 red and 1,260 blue to max out one arcane. So that's each to max out one arcane. So in grand total, to utilize this pity system, you're talking about 10,350 fragments total between the red and the blue in order to buy everything out of here if you have horrible, horrible luck. Now, obviously, you're not going to have completely horrible luck. I'm not completely bashing on this because I've obviously got all three main blueprints. I still have a weapon component after building, and I'm saving up to do her subsume or arcanes, either one. But when you're talking about time, right, you're looking at roughly... If you have god-awful luck and all you get, like, you don't get anything, right? This is a whole, you don't get jack shit, but the credit caches and, you know, relics, right? That's all you get. You don't get any arcane drops, nothing, which, you know, I mean, with this game's RNG, it's entirely possible. I don't see it happening with as much as you'll have to farm this motherfucker, but worst case scenario, you're talking about roughly somewhere between 24 and 30 mission hours in order to farm everything through the pity system. That's the pity system, 24 to 30 hours. If this pity system didn't exist, this farm would probably be worse than Protea. Or Korra. Like, this would probably be the worst farm in the game if it wasn't for the pity system. But 24 to 30 hours, relatively speaking, depending on if you get component drops or not. Like, who's gonna say that's good, okay? Just to give you an example, okay, literally 3 nights of solid farming, okay, doing nothing but this mission. Okay, so basically 5 hours a night for 3 fucking nights. Joe and I were able to, between fragments and then drops, be able to farm these. Just these. This farm, people are complaining about this farm as far as the drop tables being so atrociously bad and so cluttered with extra horse shit and not being segregated properly. It's kind of fucked. It really is. Like, rotation A being twice, why not take, you know, a couple, like 4 of these motherfuckers and stick them in rotation A and then keep 2 of them in rotation B. That way rotation B has arcanes, it has relics, plus it has a couple of weapon parts. And then you can raise the percentage of the couple in there instead of just overloading rotation B with nothing but this, plus relics, plus arcanes. And then rotation C is nothing but this with relics and still having arcanes in there at terrible drop percentages. I can understand the complaint, okay, behind why in the fuck people are very, very, very upset about why in the hell things are the way they are. Now, we'll go to the next thing. People questioning the viability of the Steflos, right? People questioning the viability of the Steflos. And I said that the Steflos is a good weapon. Now, this is my little account, obviously. So I don't even have the big build in here, which, by the way, I got a Riven for this motherfucker on the big account. So I don't have Prime Point Blank on here. I don't have, some, maxed out, galvanized power, galvanized acceleration. I can run the steel path with this fucking thing, but it's very, very specific, okay? This gun has a horrible, I mean a fucking horrible projectile range, first of all. Second of all, unless it's in Citrine's hands, it's a little better with Citrine. Second of all, it's a status-based shotgun that doesn't really do that great, right? I think we can all agree with that. It doesn't do amazingly great as a status-based shotgun. Being, sub 90% status, it's kind of a little rough. Where this gun shines and is actually very good, okay, not amazing, but pretty damn, we'll call it solid, very solid, is that it's an amazing status procer with an armor stripper frame, okay? Because if you do a heat viral coupled with, an armor stripper, the heat side doesn't even really fucking matter at that point, because it's either viral or just pure toxin that you can throw at him, but you've got to build to get some status out of this son of a bitch. But basically one shot on like a level, and granted, this, I'm not saying that this gun scales at all. It really, I'm sure it does not, okay? But like upwards of like level 160, 1 to 2 taps on most of your trash mobs they're dead. 4 taps on, as long as you've got them armor stripped, 4 or 5 taps on an overguarded enemy, they're fucking dead. Because they're wholeheartedly getting just procced with status because they've got no fucking armor. Now, does that stand true with a lot of weapons? If you armor strip something, that a lot of weapons can do damage? Yes. But this thing does a pretty good job with something that doesn't have armor or a bunch of shields. So with me using it with my Citrine build, it's a really good gun. It's a solid gun. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's just a good mid-level shotgun. The Chlorophyll, I think, is a pretty fun weapon, but it's got to be built very specifically. Otherwise, it's completely... Look, Citrine has finally finished for this account. That means I know what I'm doing tonight. So I mean... This is a very subjectively solid weapon in the right circumstance, but that's a few different weapons in this game. But again, take into account when I say that the weapon's solid, I'm clarifying that it's solid in the sense that it will status proc an armor strip enemy to death in a decent amount of time, not just sit there and just stand there and hold, stick a thumb up your ass and wave at the neighbors. And no, I mean, it does a pretty good job at that. So the next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to go collect Citrine real quick. Why not, right? We're going to go collect Citrine real quick while we're talking about this. The next thing, a bunch of motherfuckers are up in arms. See, like I said, I got her picked up. Wow, I totally missed the button there, didn't I? The Kuva nerf, right? The Kuva nerf and the Relic Pack nerf. There are some people that are very fucking mad about this, okay? I mean, they are very mad about this. And I'm gonna be honest, I get it. I really get it. I really do. The reason that I get it is this, okay? At first I thought, they're doing this to keep people from exploiting the Riven market. I don't like that much. Yeah, wow, man, I am dumb. So anyway, they're doing people from exploiting the Riven market, right? That's where my thought immediately went, is they're keeping people from doing exploiting things on the Riven market. See, that's not terrible. Matchy. Okay, so everything is limited to a hard cap of 25. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't seem terrible. But this is encompassing Kuva purchases from Teshin, and this is encompassing the relic packs. Now, the first thought that one would tend to think is that, okay, well, they're trying to keep Riven auctions, and they're trying to keep prime sales under control, keeping the general farmers of the game under control, so they're not blanketing the market. But at the end of the day, the more thought I've put into this, the very simple equation that pops into my fucking head on this is, okay? Because this shit has got people fucking triggered. The truth behind this, and this is just tinfoil hat thing here, okay? It really is. But the truth behind this, from my perspective, is that this is going to potentially hike the shit out of the Riven and the trade market both, for Riven auctions and for prime trades. Okay, and the reason being is because if people are only allowed to pop so many relics, they're going to end up charging more, because people tend to charge by either what the market will bear or by how much time it takes them to farm something. So when people save up thousands upon thousands of steel essence to go, you know, basically in preparation for, you know, the next prime pack release, and then the next, you know, the next round of Rivens that they get. Yeah, when you cap them at 25 relic packs, and you cap them, and that's, God help you, if Aya doesn't drop, then you're doing good. If Aya does drop, then it's just fucking you. So it this screws the players from the perspective that they're going to have to buy more plat, because people are going to end up charging potentially, and everything is potentially here, okay? This is just my opinion, but this is basically forcing people to buy more plat. Now, who do you think makes the money off of this? Players and gamers are going to make more plat, but they got to spend more time doing this, right? Because they're going to be capped weekly, not daily, weekly caps. Okay, so they're only going to be able to pop 25 relic packs a week. They're going to be able to pop that Kuva 25 times a week to roll Rivens. DE is going to be the one that's going to make the money from that, because people are going to end up having to pay more plat in the Riven auctions, because, like, you know, Rivens, the Riven auctions are crazy. I mean, you see Rivens go for 10k, 5k, 8k. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, just depending on the weapon and what it does, the attributes, and so on and so forth. Prime parts are a pretty much set thing, but if people have to spend more time trying to actually go out and farm relics rather than just buy packs, bit of a problem. You're already capped with Paladino. You're already capped with Archimedean Yanta. Okay. Now they're capping Teshin. My personal opinion, I actually think it's good that people can go out and just farm steel essence and go roll the shit out of Rivens and go, you know, pop a shit ton of relic packs, because it keeps the market in check. People don't have to put in so much fucking work, so they're not going to sit there and charge for their time on it, because all they got to do is roll the fucking Rivens. You know, the one thing that they're doing the most of is, you know, a group of people running a disruption or a survival or whatever their mission of choice is, and basically just murdering acolytes. When you're built for it, it don't take much. I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't. I think that what they've done with the hard cap is a really fucked up thing, and I think it's a money grab, personally. Now, am I trying to bash the company? No, because it's a company. They got to make their money any way that they can. And I think this comes back to, ever since the ammo nerf, their community numbers are down, because they pissed a large piece of this community the fuck off. Okay? 100% did. They absolutely pissed off a big chunk of the community with the ammo nerf, just as much as they did with the Eximus rework, because it goofed a couple of frames. A couple of fan favorite kind of frames. Some that, you know, one frame that a lot of people hate, but it still has use. But between the Eximus rework of last March and then the October ammo nerf, the ammo nerf was the more encompassing problem, because truth be told, the ammo nerf hit every single projectile weapon in the game except for battery operated weapons, and even initially they tried to attack those until the community freaked the fuck out. But it was supposed to apply towards AoE weapons, and in turn it applied towards every fucking weapon in the game by nerfing the bejesus out of the merciless arcanes. So that whole 100% ammo just completely went away. And again, I'm not trying to be a dead horse with this, but this is really what pissed a lot of the community off. And you know what? It is what it is. I got nothing to say on the matter aside from you lay in the bed that you have made, right? And so what they're trying to do right now, in my personal opinion, is they're trying to lay in the bed that they've made. They're losing revenue by pissing off the community and they're throwing beads to the natives in regards to like Varuna, and now we've got Citrine here, which the Citrine is she's a great frame. Okay, she's fucking excellent. But when you've got those particular things going on, right? It's a little bit of a problem. Just saying. So I think this is their way of trying to make up lost revenue for people that they've pissed off. Again, I'm not trying to bash the shit out of them. I'm really not, but it's just like, you know, there's better ways to go about this. There really is. The last thing I want to talk about, something that I've noticed over the last month and a half, this year, we'll just say that, this year. Data mining. Now, I had heard stories like Plains of Eidolon time, you know, the sacrifice even, which was, what, 5-6 years ago. But data mining hasn't really been a big deal for Digital Extremes as of recent. Not, at least not since I've been playing, which was early 2020. But data mining has been such a big fucking deal. Duviri Paradox. Citrine's Last Wish was another one. The next Prime release, we know to be Hildren. Thanks to the data miners. The reason that they're doing it is because DE has stepped away from what they've done every fucking year I've played until this year. Basically, their last dev stream of last year was the last good dev stream that they've had thus far. And by the way, what, we've had, what, one this year? Like, they were averaging one a month. Now they're like once every couple of months, or once every, what, I'll say 6 to 9 weeks, basically, is seemingly where we're looking at dev streams. Now, do I think that they have an obligation with a massive multiplayer online game like this? Yeah, they kind of do. Keep your players informed. If you give them information, what do the data miners have to give them? What do they have to take? But I've seen a couple of posts, DE kind of gently prodding and complaining about the data mining. And you know what? This is also the bed you've made. You don't want to have as much community contact as you've had in the past. Well, this is what you get, right? I mean, if you don't give us information, somebody's going to find a way to find it. And that's exactly what's going on. You know, proof positive. Citrine's Last Wish, the last dev stream that we got. Duviri's still delayed. We'll get it soon enough. Citrine's Last Wish is going to be our next one. Here's the frame. Here's what the weapon's going to do. It'll be coming soon. 24 hours before the release of this fucking this update. Poof. By the way, Citrine's Last Wish drops tomorrow. What? Yeah. Not, you know, before it used to be, it's going to drop on this date. Angels of Zariman, we had a date. You know? Veilbreaker, we had a date. The New War, we had a date. The dev stream prior to the release, we had a date. It's going to drop on this day. Now, we're just like, fuck it, it'll come sooner or later. You don't get to complain about data miners if you don't give the information to the community in order to work with said information. Right? I mean, like, I don't think that that's really an argumentative point, okay? I'm just saying. But I've seen a lot of people talking about the data mining, a lot of people complaining about the mirror defense farm. You know, a bunch of people complaining, a lot of people complaining about the hard cap that's hit. And the truth of it is I don't blame them. I really don't. Citrine's Last Wish, basically 2023 so far, is a real rough patch for Digital Extremes. Okay, and I don't want to say that because I love this fucking game. Okay, I'm still freshly loving this game, not because of the new account, although that's made it even more fun, but just in general, I love this fucking game. It's fun to play. But they have got to step up and do a better job than what they're doing right now, because right now it's rough. Oh my, it's rough. So 2023 is a rough patch for Digital Extremes so far. Hopefully they kind of collectively get their heads out of their butts and make this a little bit more of a foreseeable, functional situation. So that's really all I got for right now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If I'm completely stupid, by all means, let me know. Hopefully I clarified the Steflos a little bit better, because I'm not trying to say it's some kind of OP weapon, but it is fun. It's good in a certain situation. It's actually pretty good. Test it out. Let me know. No, and if you've got opinions about it below, by all means, you know, if you've got a differing opinion on the hard cap for what they're doing, by all means, hit me up, man. Shoot me, you know, pop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Because again, I feel like I'm wearing a fucking tinfoil hat right now. And I don't want to be that way, but that's kind of where it's at, right? So anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?